Hey YouTube, today we're going to make a lot of people happy with what we're looking at because it's two subject matters that are my favorite things to talk about. We're going to be talking about Glock pistols, and not only are we going to be talking about Glock pistols, we're going to be talking about 9mm Glock pistols. So before we get started, I'm going to let you know that none of these pistols have anything in them. They've all been safety checked before I turn this camera on, and we are clear to make this video. As I pick them up, I will show you that they're not loaded. So, what's the subject matter for today? Today we're going to be talking about this Glock 19x. This is our main target to talk about today. And we're going to talk about how Glock came up with this idea, what they did, and I've never showed all three of these at the same time it took to build this gun, so I'm going to talk a little bit about this 19x. Now folks, if you've watched this channel, you know I like Glocks, and I have a favorite. This is my second favorite Glock that I own. This thing is awesome. And some of the features that this thing comes with from the factory is it comes, first of all, with metal sights on it. It's got metal Glock 9 sights from the factory. I think they should put this in all of them, but they're not going to listen to me because I don't work for them. So this gun came out when they were starting to transition over to the Generation 5. And it's got a lot of the new Generation 5 features on it, but it's lacking a couple of them also. So some of the features that this thing has, it got rid of the finger grooves on it. It's got the Generation 5 texturing. It's got the single pin attachment for the trigger group, and pretty much all the rest of them. It's got an ambidextrous slide stop on it, but the same barrel, the marksman barrel, all that kind of good jazz. But other than that, it's just a regular Glock. Now this one, to my knowledge, is still the only one that I know that ships from Glock that's not in a different color than black. I understand you can get Glocks in a lot of different colors, but this one's the one that Glock actually does, and it's kind of a two-tone. You know, it's kind of looks like peanut butter on the slide, and just like an FDE color on the frame. This lighting doesn't show it up as well, but they're a little bit different colors to slide than the frame on it. Very neat gun. So the concept of this gun is you're going to take a Glock 19 slide and put it on a full-size Glock 17 frame. So what that does, it creates what they call, like what I call, a commander size. Commander size to me, we're speaking in 1911 terms, is a full-size frame and a shortened slide / barrel. So I'm going to pick this Glock 17 up here. It's just a regular Generation 5 Glock 17. And folks, I'm going to make mention of something. A lot of the videos that I've done with Glocks in them, with these two Glocks in them, people have asked me why these are Generation 5 Glocks and they don't have the front serrations on them. Well, both of these, this one and this Glock 19 down here, are early model Gen 5, so they still had the little hole right here for ripping the magazine out, the thing that everybody complains about, and they hadn't yet to put the front slide serrations on them. But Generation 5s, majority of them you'll see have front slide serrations on them. So anyway, a little bit off topic on that one. The Glock 17 is the first Glock that ever came out, and then it's a full-size 9mm Glock. And it's got a full-size frame and all that kind of stuff. So if you take this Glock 19x and you compare them side by side, it's the exact frame, exactly the same size. Now, the difference you're going to notice is in the slide length. It's got a little bit shorter slide on the Glock 19x than it does the Glock 17. So it's a full-size gun with a shortened slide, what I like to call the commander size. So if you take it here, we're going to pick this Glock 19 up. This is, like I said, a Generation 5 Glock 19. We're going to pick this up. If you look at the frames next to it, the frame is quite a bit shorter on the Glock 19, but if you look at the slides, they're identical. So basically the concept is you take a Glock 19 slide and put it on a Glock 17 frame. That was the concept of the 19x, and it creates sort of a commander style gun. That's what I like to call it, commander style gun. And I don't know what it is, folks, but this gun has the most perfect balance. And of all Glocks, this one feels the best in my hand and shoots the best in my hand out of all the 9mm Glocks that I have. So this one, it happens to be my favorite, and it's just more maneuverable. It just feels better in your hand with that shorter slide on it. I've always been a little fan of all handguns having a little bit shorter barrel on it and having a full-size frame, and you'll notice that with all the stuff. I like 4-inch revolvers, I like commander style 1911s, and I like this Glock when it comes to the striker fired ones. But some of the other features it has this weird little knuckle here on the frame. I have no idea what that does. It has a lanyard loop. That was a military thing that they requested be on there. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as a Generation 5. Now, one thing to note is it comes from the factory with 2 of these 19-round magazines. It'll say 17, but it has the factory Glock extension on the bottom of it, so these hold 19 rounds. So when you have one in the chamber, you ultimately have 20 rounds of 9mm in them. Now, one of the things to note about them is regular Glock Generation 5 magazines will not work in it. So it's not completely Generation 5. You can always tell the Generation 5 magazines by the orange top. When you slide these in, the extended lip on the Generation 5 magazines get caught on that little knuckle right there. And of course, that Generation 5 magazine is for the early ones. Had this little hole here that everybody is upset about, and I like it. In case you had some kind of malfunction, you could rip that magazine out with your finger right here. It gives you a little hole, makes it easier to rip that magazine out if you had some kind of malfunction. Nobody likes that, and I believe that Glock did away with the little holes in the side of it because of all the backlash they got from the people out there. It's crazy what upsets people. The finger grooves on them, that upsets people. They're yet to decide whether their finger grooves are cool or not. The front serrations, they've complained about that for years, but the little hole in the side, they can't live with it, so Glock decided to do away with it. But anyway, I just wanted to do this little video to show you how they came up with this concept of the 19X. They did the same thing with the 43X. They just made the grip a little bit longer. I don't think you really compare that to anything except for like a Glock 43. It's the same slide, it's just a longer grip. But the way they came up with this one, they put a Glock 17 frame, which is the one here on top, and a Glock 19 slide. So you could literally take this slide off and put a Glock 19 slide on it, and it will still function just fine. And you can take this slide and put it on this Glock 19 and it will still function just fine. It will not fit on this one because the frame's a little bit longer on the bottom to make up for the longer slide. But anyway, folks, you have any questions on this Glock 19X and how they came up with the concept of it, or if you've got any experience with it, tell me how you think this thing feels in your hand, which one of them you prefer. I'd love to hear it from you. Thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.